What's up, guys? Tim Little here with TacticalBassin. Matt Allen. It's midsummer. We're out here middle of Clear Lake doing some worm fishing. Summertime's a great time to throw plastics and get a lot of good bites and big bites on worms. So why don't we jump in and talk about some of the brands and stuff we use, some of the worms we use, and we'll go from there.
For sure. You know, like Tim said, summertime is a great time to be throwing this stuff. You don't hear us historically, if you've been watching us on YouTube or on tactical.com or TacticalBassin.com. Depending on how many years you've been following us, you'll notice it's been a long time since we talked about worm fishing. It's something we very rarely touch on, maybe a little bit with spotted bass, but neither one of us do a lot of it, with the exception of summertime. Summertime is just such a good time to get those big bites and to just plaster them, just numbers and numbers of fish. So, you know, we're not really brand loyal. I pulled out some of the baits that I have confidence in and came up with 5 different brands of worms. But seriously, these are worms that I have a lot of confidence in. So just running through them really quick. Reaction Innovations Pocket Rocket. Such a stellar bait. I like to throw it on a shaky head. It's a bulkier bait, and it's thin in the middle. I think it was probably designed to be like a wacky worm or something like that. But when you put that thing on the shaky head, that thin section gets behind the worm and you end up with a ton of movement. I love that one. Zoom, Swamp Crawlers, Strike King, Fat Baby Finesse Worm. I have put the hammer down with that bait this year. You know, baits kind of, at least for me, come and go in my fishing. I have a lot of confidence in them one year, and then the next year maybe I have less, or I get away from them, and then it comes back around full circle. But this year, that Fat Baby Finesse Worm, I've hammered them on that thing. Robo Worm, of course. You can't leave home without Robo Worms. Either 6-inch fat or the 7-inch straight tail. Either one of those, phenomenal. And then a man's jelly worm. The big, you know, 12-inch worm. Which brings me to color. Like anything else, I try to keep it as simple as I can. So there are thousands of colors out there, at least hundreds of colors. I'm gonna cut it down to 3 for summertime. I start out with green pumpkin. If they don't feel like eating green pumpkin, I either go to red, some version of red, whether you're throwing strawberry or red craw or a tequila sunrise. I'm either going to a red or to a June bug. I keep it that simple. 3 colors, they're going to eat one of them. I mean, summertime bass, high metabolism, they want to eat. You're not throwing a giant bait, they're going to eat it. Numbers are going to eat it. So one of those 3 is gonna be getting bit any given time that you're on the water. I don't know what it is about red in the summertime. I mean, we know what it is on Clear Lake, right? On Clear Lake, our crawdads, for whatever reason, turn this like tomato red color in the summer.
Right.
But why you can go to a lake anywhere in the country in the summertime and they all of a sudden want to eat a bright strawberry colored worm, I don't know, but they do. It's a phenomenal color. June bug and green pumpkin just makes sense. Green pumpkin, super natural. I don't know that it looks like anything specific, but it looks a little bit like everything. And then June bug just stands out well in the water. They can see it. That's why I keep it simple. I don't worry too much about the flake and all that stuff. If you want to fine tune it, fine tune it. But if you stick with those 3 basic color types, you're dialed. Now, as far as rigging goes, I'll turn that back over to Tim.
Yeah, getting back to colors real quick, I agree with everything he said. All those baits came off of my wall in my garage, so we have the same taste. But as far as rigging, hands down, my favorite way to throw summer worms is the shaky head. This specific shaky head, this one is the Scott Canterbury by Dirty Jigs Tackle. It's got the Arky style head with the screw lock. The screw lock is awesome. You screw your bait right in there, right in the face, lock it down. You can catch numbers of fish on the same bait, and it's weedless. You hook it right back into itself, and it's comes through rocks, comes through tules, grass, whatever you're fishing. It's a great way to rig it. As far as the big worms, they do make it in a bigger, I think they have like what, 2, 3.
Yeah, they make big
odd.
Magnum shaky heads,
Right.
or you can Texas rig on
Right.
them.
That's what I was getting to next. If you want to throw something different than the shaky head, you can go with the basic Texas rig. You can go 1/4 ounce all the way up to 1.25 ounces if you want, depending on how deep you're fishing. Another great way is to Carolina rig. A lot of guys like to Carolina rig big worms. The benefit of that is when you're fishing them slow, the weight's on the bottom, the worm's back there free floating on that 2.5, 3, 4 foot leader you got, and when the fish pick up the bait, they don't feel the weight. So Carolina rig, Texas rig, and shaky head. Great ways to rig worms in the summer.
Yeah, you know, there's all kinds of ways to rig a worm. You know, you could drop shot, you could do whatever you want, but it seems like summertime, I think we both had the same experience. If we're worming personally, the biggest fish are either eating a Carolina rig or a shaky head. Why they love that shaky head, I'm not sure. Carolina rig makes sense. That bait's floating there,
right.
Big worm, it's easy. I think maybe with the shaky head, it's because the weight is attached to the bait. It's so responsive. You get a lot of movement out of it. But whatever it is, those two methods specifically, summertime worming, you catch numbers, you catch size, is just fun fishing.
Yeah, talking about the movement, he kind of touched on it just a little bit. Don't be afraid to work these worms fast too. When you're fishing rock piles, fishing heavier weights, heavier heads, hop that bait through, let it fall. A lot of times you'll hop it, let it fall, dong, you'll get bit on the fall. So don't be afraid to get that bait moving instead of just sitting there and soaking it.
Yeah, that's a great point. We hope that helps you guys. We don't talk about worming very often. This is a time of year where it really is a good thing. You can have a whole lot of fun doing it. And then, you know, a month or two from now, we'll get back to putting the hammer down.
Yeah, it's really hard me personally, it's really hard to convince myself to go out and throw a worm when I can go out and throw a frog or a buzzbait or something like that.
Right.
But tournament guys or guys looking to catch numbers, I mean, dude, I don't know how many fish we caught today on a worm.
A lot.
We'll throw some of that footage in there, but I don't know how many double ups and stuff we had. But it's a great way to catch numbers and to get big fish.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope that helps you guys. We appreciate your support. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. You know, 2 things that you can do if you really enjoy the content. 1, share the channel with your friends. Share TacticalBassin.com with them if they haven't heard of it. But the other one is, in the video description, we put links to all the products. If you're going to buy those products anyway, especially from Tackle Warehouse, if you follow those links before you do that, that's the #1 thing you can support to do. You can do to support us. We really appreciate that. Like always, we hope you have a good time out there. Catch some more fish. We'll talk to you soon.
Comments. If you guys have comments, leave them down below. Video requests. We love that stuff. Talk to you later, guys.
First thing is going to be the square bill crankbait. The square bill is a compact bait, fits that general bluegill profile where it's a short, stumpy bait, pretty round. More importantly, it moves very quickly, very erratic, something that bluegill do never. This may be a better day than I think. Lake is starting to look pretty stacked. So we're going to run down lake. I don't know how well you guys can see, but basically I've got a big point over on this side and an even larger point there on the left, and then the dam down there in the background. And I think I'm gonna focus around those first couple of big points, although I gotta admit this stuff is looking pretty darn good. But we're gonna start out down there. We're gonna focus on some of that stuff and see if we can find some fish on the little bit of structure that is in